Good evening. There's some light at the end of the tunnel for long-suffering commuters on the Midlands rail network tonight. The company taking over the franchise from London Midland has ordered £700 million worth of new rolling stock in an effort to reduce overcrowding. These were just some of the comments sent in on Twitter to London Midland this morning by frustrated passengers who are fed up with standing in jam-packed carriages. New operators Abellio are taking over in December with the promise of 400 new carriages. Here's our transport correspondent, Peter Plisner.
Ever struggled to get on your train because it's too busy? For passengers on Birmingham's Cross City line like Chris Bennett, it's a daily occurrence.
Very bad, I'd say, when it gets overcrowded, almost to the point of unsafety, I'd say.
The problem is there are just too many passengers and not enough carriages. Part of the reason Abellio has committed to renewing the entire Cross City line fleet. And this is the factory in Derby that's just won the order. They're already building similar trains for London, which means we'll get ours earlier than normal.
As you move on to a successive order, then you can shorten the delivery time from 3 years or so down to 2 years.
While the new trains will undoubtedly be welcomed by rail passengers, there's already some concern about how the seats will be laid out in each carriage. Described as metro style, it's similar to these trains destined for London. Ultimately, it means fewer seats and more standing capacity. Something that's not exactly popular with passengers.
If they're removing some of the seats for some of the people who need to sit down, and that could be a problem. So
when you're just doing a short journey, it's not too bad, but if you're travelling quite far, it can be a bit of a pain.
But Abellio maintains more capacity is needed.
There will be fewer seats on each individual carriage, but there'll be more seats overall because of the increase in the trains that we're providing. So there'll be more space for passengers to be able to board.
Rail experts suggest it's nothing that hasn't been done elsewhere.
It's not a safety argument, although there are safety aspects to it. Look, the London Underground is the biggest metro and the oldest metro system in the world, and it gets 4 million people on and off in perfect safety generally every day.
In addition to electric trains being built in Derby, which will also be used on services to Coventry and Wolverhampton, a new fleet of diesel trains will be built in Spain. They'll be used for regional services to places like Shrewsbury, Hereford and Stratford-upon-Avon. And it's not just new trains that are coming, there could be new jobs too. Abellio plans to create an additional depot to store and maintain the new trains. These rather overgrown sidings near Duddeston could be where it'll be located.
Well, Peter joins us now from a railway station in South Birmingham. Peter, on the face of it, good news for passengers. Are we going to end up paying for this through higher ticket prices, though?
Well, Giles, I think it's unlikely, bearing in mind that most commuter fares are heavily regulated by the government. They're pegged to inflation, can't go up apart from a formula set by the government. Of course, I think what's more likely is that we'll see the train company get their money back through their increases in passengers over the next decade or so. We've certainly seen big rises over the last decade. We're expecting significant rises over the next.
How about the time scale? When will we see those carriages on the lines behind you?
Well, in August, the company was awarded the franchise. They will take over services in December this year. We'll see some changes in 2018, some changes to services again in 2019. But those new trains we're talking about, we're going to have to wait until 2020 when they'll replace trains here on the Cross City line. A second phase of trains is expected to come through in 2021. As we know, procuring new trains isn't quick, but of course we know that we're going to see these a bit quicker because the trains are already being built in Derby and will be derivatives of the trains they're already building for London.
Peter Plisner, thank you. 2 men and a woman are to go on trial accused of